true hero was the person who embraced the life that he or she was given and made it better.
A Superman.
Hello everyone and welcome to Caged Games. But today we're not going to be reviewing a game, we're reviewing Smallville. I've been waiting so long to talk about this show and I've only just recently finished watching it. So now I'm going to talk about my thoughts and how much this show means to me, because it means a whole lot. I love this show and I'm going to tell you why in this video. So let's get into it. I'm going to do the good, the bad, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Let's go. Number one, good thing. Tom Welling as Clark Kent / Superman. Tom Welling could possibly rival Christopher Reeve in playing that character. I'm not even joking, because he is such a good farm boy Clark Kent. He's such a good bumbling reporter, and he's just we didn't really get to see him play Superman, but I'd imagine he'd do that character justice, and he can really rival Christopher Reeve, and that's saying a lot, because I love Christopher Reeve as Superman, and even though like half of his movies were pretty bad, like Superman 3 and 4 were just kind of train wrecks, but yeah. I really like Tom Welling in this role, and I think we got cheated when he didn't get cast in Supergirl. That was a perfect opportunity and you missed it, CW. Okay? You guys are the worst. Number two, great thing. This is great. Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor. Since Michael Rosenbaum doesn't really have anyone to really rival with like the best Lex Luthor, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor is the best on-screen Lex Luthor, like even better than Justice League, better than Justice League cartoon, better than Kevin Spacey, better than Gene Hackman, better than all of them. Michael Rosenbaum is the perfect Lex Luthor, and I will fight anyone to the death who disagrees with me on that, because he starts out good in this show, right? And you can see him slowly descend into like the character that we know he'll become, and it's so great to see that transition. And it's just, I love watching his character. He's such a good villain, but you also feel sorry for him in like some of the things that happen to him, because like you're damn, oh Lex, damn, like he's like living in his father's shadow that he wants to get out of, but he doesn't want to be like his father, but in doing so, he tries to do things different, but in doing those things, he becomes more and more like his father, and you can see that really, like, destroy him, and he's such a good Lex Luthor. He's the best on-screen Lex Luthor in any media ever, and I don't care who says otherwise. Michael Rosenbaum, you are awesome, man. Props to you. Thank you for making Smallville a even better show than it already was. The third good thing is that this show is actually a really good Superman origin story. Like, it tells like, obviously we all know Superman's origin story, and if you don't, I don't know where you've been living, but Superman, or Clark Kent, or Kal-El, whatever you would like to call him, he came to Earth via spaceship because his own planet Krypton was exploding. And his parents were like, screw that, send him to Earth where people take care of him and stuff. And then he lands on in Kansas, and two farmers, Jonathan and Martha Kent, find him, and they're both like farmers on this like ranch, Kent Farm. And they find him and they raise him like the human boy that they want him to be. And it's in the show they play it like it's such a great juxtaposition in Jonathan Kent and Jor-El, because they couldn't be more different. Jor-El is a controlling, manipulative alien voice that comes from like an ice fortress in the Arctic. So he's his alien father, but Jonathan Kent is the caring, loving human father that has taught Clark everything that he knows. Till the day he becomes Superman. Well, not till the day, because you know he kind of dies. So yeah, they couldn't be more different. And the way they play that in the show is so goddamn perfect. I would not change a single thing about how they dealt with the parents in the show. Like the alien and the human parents, they're so good. It's such great juxtaposition there, like with Jonathan and Jor-El. But also they changed Superman's origin story a little bit, because instead of just Clark coming to Earth in a spaceship, they did it in a meteor shower, which is a lot more believable, because if someone was in that cornfield that Kal-El landed, I think they would have noticed a spaceship crashing down. But with the meteor shower, he can kind of blend in with all the different meteors coming down. So I liked how they did that. And also, the meteor shower is how Lex Luthor loses all his hair. And I think that's a good way, because like 2 lives were changed that day. Clark Kent, Kal-El, who was adopted by Earth parents, and Lex Luthor, because he lost all his hair, you know. I guess. In the first episode, when Clark is like thinking about whether he wants to save people or not, I can't really remember because like it was months ago. Lex Luthor, who's driving his Porsche, right, runs Clark off the road right into a river, and Lex nearly dies, and Clark saves him, and Lex Luthor from that point on is obsessed with Clark Kent, because he thinks that there is something special about Clark Kent, and he doesn't really know what, but the entire series it's spent like building his character up to be an obsessive, manipulative villain, because he's learning something about Clark every day, because like Clark is always there when the meteor freaks are disposed of, and he just thinks something's not right with this guy, because I think I hit you 60 miles an hour with my Porsche, ran you off the bridge, and you're still alive, and you managed to save me. I should have died that day, and he thinks Clark is like his guardian angel or whatever, and that's where like his obsession with Clark Kent kind of grows and matures over time. Another good thing, Erica Durance as Lois Lane. She's a really good Lois Lane. I don't know really what else to say. She's an army brat, so she like was trained by the general. She knows how to fight, even though like most of the time she loses her fights anyway, so that Clark can come save her. But all in all, she's a great Lois Lane. She has the humor, she has the wit, she has everything that makes a great Lois Lane. She's just a good Lois Lane. It's really refreshing to see a female character, you know, actually be good. And I'll get into that with my first bad. The first bad thing, Lana Lang. She turns the show into... Okay, the show started off as like high school drama, but with superpowers. I'm just going to say that right now, and I love that. Mainly because I'm in high school now, maybe I just like hashtag relatable, okay? Cringe. But Lana, she is responsible for so many love triangles with her, Clark, and some other prick from, like, there was this one guy, Jason Teague, who was like some guy from France, I don't know, and then there was like Whitney, who went off to war and died, and then there was Adam, who like it was like a personal trainer, and then there was this other guy, and so many love triangles stem from Lana Lang. God damn it, she makes this show unbearable. She makes the dumbest choices. I hate Lana Lang, I really do. Towards the end of the show, she got actually better, because she's gonna marry Lex in around season 6, I believe, and she wants to be with Clark. Because she knows that Lex, they're going to be trapped in like a loveless relationship. And Lionel Luthor, who's like Lex's father, says, if you don't marry Lex, I will kill Clark Kent. And she has to marry Lex. And like, Christy Crook, she's a good actress. Don't get me wrong. She played the character of Lana Lang for like 7 years. So I can kind of understand, like, it was just the writing. At times Lana could get a little annoying. But when she left, I was actually sad. I was like, give me more Lana, even though I started off hating her. And yeah, you know, it's just Lana Lang isn't even that bad. When I think about it now, she wasn't even that bad. But she caused unnecessary drama, and it was like the show was like One Tree Hill but with superpowers. You know, to be honest with you guys, I really can't think of another con. Actually, no, a con is the way they deal with some of these villain characters, because some seasons they build up a villain and you're supposed to fear this villain. And when Clark ends up fighting them at the end of the season or whatever, they're so easy to beat, and it just kind of makes you go, well, what was the point? You know, like in season 8, for example, Doomsday. You know, the guy who kills Superman in the comics. He's sent to Earth. He's Kryptonian. He's basically like Kal-El's brother, and they set up this human character called Davis Bloom, who turns into Doomsday at night because he has like an urge to kill people, right? Now that sounds cool, that sounds nice, and that could have been interesting. And he gets like really obsessed with Chloe, who was like Clark's friend throughout the whole series, and like Chloe keeps Davis from changing, right? And when Chloe, like, she has to stay in the basement with Doomsday so that he doesn't change. But when she runs away from him and we get up to this huge fight, Clark has to separate the human side of Doomsday and like the monster side. So he does that. So now the human and Doomsday parts are different. And then Davis, which is like the human counterpart of Doomsday, kills Jimmy Olsen. Yeah, kills Jimmy Olsen. Impales him right through the chest. And Chloe is like, oh, I just want to save you. And then he's like, there's nothing left to save. And then Jimmy comes back up from being freaking stabbed and impales the human side of Doomsday. So he dies. So then I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of easy. I guess the Doomsday vs. Clark Kent fight's going to be good. Right? No! It's not! It's 2 minutes! Dude, you spend, like, how many hours setting it up? Like, let's say, 12 hours. 12 whole hours setting up a villain in the cumulative show season, and you give him 2 minutes where there were 3 punches in the whole fight. Doomsday grabs Clark, punches him twice, and then punches him one more time into a shopping window, and then when Doomsday comes up to him, he supercharges Doomsday into a factory and explodes. Doomsday's dead, guys! No. I get that it's a TV show and they may not have the budget, but no. You're not what's the point if you're just not gonna do the character justice? Like, some of the villains get so shafted. Like Metallo in the show, he's not Metallo. He's a guy with a kryptonite thing in his chest. Like, and he has a human side, and he's not evil at all. He's just kind of, oh, I didn't want to be this way, you know. Damn. And it's a waste. General Zod was the only character I felt like was the most like his comic counterpart, because he had like the kneel before Zods and the like he had that real general feel about him, even though he's like he's Major Zod in the show. He's not General yet, but when he's sent to the Phantom Zone, he becomes General Zod under all like the Phantoms and stuff. But some of these characters just get so shafted. I loved Brainiac though. Brainiac was pretty cool, along with Zod. I already mentioned Zod. Let's talk about some of the good and bad seasons. I would say seasons 1 to 5 are great. They are, because it's a stepping stone for Clark, and I think between season 5 and 6, it transitioned into a completely different show. Because season 1 to 5 is kind of like a high school kind of drama, soap opera kind of thing, right? And season 6 to 10 is more comic book, and it's like embracing, oh, this is Superman, let's just go, you know, comic book references, JSA, JLA, and it's out the Justice League and Oliver Queen and all those characters. And I can't really name a bad season, even though season 8 was quite disappointing with the Doomsday fight, but everything else about season 8 was pretty good, so I can't really, you know, go like, God, all season 8 sucked. There's no really bad season of Smallville, and I'll stick to that, because there's not a bad season. There really isn't. There are some things that I didn't like about each season, but there's no season I'll be like, yo, that season was garbage, yo, I wouldn't even watch that again. I'd watch the whole show again, because I can tolerate some of the stuff that they do in the show. But yeah, most of the seasons are pretty good. I think season 9 or 3 might be my favorite though, because that's when General Zod came in, and season 3 was like when like most of the characters started getting developed. I really like season 3 actually. But in season 7, they did a thing that I can't really agree with. They killed off Lex Luthor. Well, he didn't really die in season 7. In season 8, he kind of died, but it wasn't Michael Rosenbaum, because Michael Rosenbaum's contract only went on for like 7 seasons. He kind of left after for season 8 and 9, and then came back for the very final episode of season 10. So I liked seeing him. It was really good to have him back, but I did tend to miss him. I did think the show kind of like dropped off a little bit, and then season 9 was good on its own without Lex, and then the finale really just... The finale might be my favorite episode, actually. It's a 2-part finale, and I loved everything about it. It tied up the series so nicely by like having Clark's parents like say, never forget Smallville and everything he's learned. He finally learns to fly, which we've been waiting for like forever, man. And it's so good. I love the finale, and I guarantee that if you just watch Smallville. That's like my rating. Watch Smallville. Watch Smallville is my rating for Smallville. Go watch it. Go watch it. Go watch it now. In other words, that's a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10 for Smallville because it's such a good origin story. It treats the character of Superman so well, and that ending scene with like Clark Kent actually ripping his shirt off to become Superman literally chills every time. I love that. I love that so much. Like so good. So good. Every time I watch that scene, so good. But if I had to say a season to start off with, if you're not too big on the high school, start off with blah, 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 start off in season 6 and then watch from there, because that's when the show kind of transitions. And the way they set up like the Justice League in the show is great. Hawkman and Dr. Fate, they get pretty big roles for like 2-part episodes. The show's just good. Okay, just watch the show, please. Just watch it. 9 out of 10, Smallville, great show. Can't wait to watch it again, probably like next year. I love Smallville. It will always be my favorite superhero show of all time. Oh wait, it was Daredevil. No, you know what? No, this is tied with Daredevil. It's that good, because Daredevil hasn't gone on long enough to like be perfect. But I love this show. Go watch this show, please. It does the characters justice, and you won't be disappointed. That has been my review of Smallville. All 10 seasons, 10 years of television. The best 10 years of my life. Such a good show, guys. Go watch it, please. Just go watch the show.